Captain's log. It's been a cold, lonely winter with no projects. Trying to take a break for the holidays. It's been 46 days since my last project. So let's make something. What up, party people? Welcome to Creations Woodshop. We're gonna be doing some wood stuff, some fun stuff, and probably some weird stuff. My name is Seth, and let's get to it. But first, like and subscribe. That'd do me a favor. So, a little about myself. My favorite color is green, and I like Lord of the Rings. That is a little bit about myself. I'm gonna be doing some tips, some tricks, maybe just telling some jokes. Who knows? We're gonna have a little fun. But today, we're gonna talk about cutting boards. This cutting board. Boom. Chevron pattern, purple heart, walnut, and a little bit of maple. I think it looks good. Let's get into it. The first thing that you're gonna want to do, pick your wood. You can go with walnut, maple, purple heart, whatever you want. Any kind of wood really. But if you're making a cutting board, you're gonna want to make it a hardwood, because if you cut into it and it's soft like pine, you're gonna have dents, divots, cuts. It's not gonna last long. So, hardwood. Great, you picked your wood. Now, you just want to cut some strips. You can measure them out however you want, like inch, inch and a half, 2 inches, however you feel the spacing that you want. You can have wide stripes, narrow stripes, whatever. But once you figure that out, what your spacing is, you just cut your strips. So, we're going to use the table saw, and I highly recommend the saw stop. Save your fingies. And I can say, for a fact, this thing works. Had it for 4 days, and found out that it does save you fingers. So, shout out to saw stop. And now you take your strips and you glue them together in clamps. You put them together however you want, whatever spacing and pattern. And you take those, you put them in the miter saw, and you cut an angle and then glue them back together. That's how you get the chevron pattern when you glue it back up. That's it.
Alright, now that you've got all your stuff glued together, you cut your strips, you glued it back together, it's looking good. And now it looks like this, kind of. But you want to sand it down. You want it nice and smooth, so you start with like a 80 grit sandpaper. I always like to start with the 80. The 80 on the orbital, that's my tool of choice. Orbital, you can hand sand it if you are a psychopath. But yeah, you can start with the 80. I go 80, 120, 180. You want to pause at 180 and get yourself a water bottle. Just spray it down, because it's going to raise the grain. And once that grain's up, hit it again with 180. And it's going to be very smooth, but you go up to 220, 300 if you want, 320, whatever. You can make it as smooth as you want, but you want to hit it and then sand and then hit it again and sand some more. Sanding takes forever. That's why everyone likes to fast forward through the sanding. We're not even going to show that. We're going to show the finished product, but it's not quite finished yet. The next step, we're going to oil it down. Before we get too far into it, how about a word from our sponsors? Are you or your loved ones affected by crappy box store furniture? Then come on down to Key Creations Woodshop. We'll get you some custom wood furniture today. Well, maybe not today, because it's going to take some time to like put it together and stuff. But yeah, that's right. I'm sponsoring myself currently. I don't really have any like affiliations with other businesses, but if you would like to sponsor a nice local business, I'm here. Key Creations Woodshop. Come on down. Now I'm gonna do something that I like to call try a new beer. And here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna try a new beer. And I'm gonna make a list throughout my videos and see which one turns out to be the best. We're just gonna grab random beer from the store and try them out.
So here's what we got. Let's try looking in the mini fridge. Today we're gonna start off with defensive French toast. It's supposed to be a porter with maple syrup, vanilla, coffee, and cinnamon. Let's give it a shot. Okay, here it goes. Initial reaction. It smells mostly like a regular coffee stout that you would have. I mean, nothing crazy off the tab, but bottoms up. It's pretty good. I taste a lot more coffee than I do French toast. It's definitely got a lot of coffee flavor to it. Actually, I don't taste any maple syrup, vanilla, or cinnamon. This just tastes like coffee to me. We're gonna give it another sip for science. It's not bad though. I mean, it might have just a hint of other stuff. Mostly coffee. I give it a 5 out of 10. It's drinkable. Got it on a little label here. We got numbers. So far, it's the only one we've had. It's in the first spot. Not bad. You know what? I missed a step. Before, I like to oil and wax and finish the wood. I like to get my own brand on there. I like to stamp it with the Key Creations brand. It's my little touch. It's my product I made. I'm gonna hit my stamp on there. Fire! Now, you're gonna wanna heat it up nice and even. You don't want it like crazy cherry red because that'll just burn a hole in the wood. You want it nice and even. Get the flame on there. Get it heated up nice enough where it's going to leave the brand, but not burn a hole in the wood, you know? It's gonna look good. This is very satisfying. Just putting the torch on the brand. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, get in there. You like that at home? Probably like it here. I'm just going to sand it again with a 220 grit where the brand made a little indentation. We're just going to sand it smooth. So here we go. Before we put the oil to it, we're going to take some of this mineral spirits. We're going to clean up all the little grimy stuff like sawdust, dust, regular dust. Like just get all of it out. You don't want the oil to keep that locked in. So we're going to clean it first. Open up my jug and put it on my rag. And it is as easy as wiping it on. And the best thing about the cleaning part too, once it wets it down and cleans it, you really get to see that color pop. That's my favorite part, watching the color come on out. Because when it's dry with the sawdust and stuff, it looks a little pale. But once that color gets a little wet, boom, flavor. Welcome to Flavor Town. Oh yeah. You can see it just coming right on out. Get all the edges. Get all the edges. If you need to get a little bit more, we'll dab it up again. Boom, boom. A third time. And you want to just rub it down again on the back side. Now, look at that. Ooh. Don't you love it? Now, we're going to let that dry for a couple minutes. It's not going to take long because it'll evaporate out in the air. But we're gonna let that dry and then hit it with some cutting board safe oil and then food grade wax to seal it and protect it. Okay, now that the mineral spirits is dried, we're gonna take Howard's cutting board oil, and the way I like to do it, I like to just kind of spread it around like so. You're gonna take a fresh rag and just kind of rub it in. And that's like the easiest way that I have found to do the oil and the wax. Some people like to submerge it in like a bucket of oil. Some people like to do other things, but I don't want to waste all of it, so I just kind of put what I need. I spread it out, I rub it in. You want to do about 3 coats of oil, and I like to do 3 coats of wax after that. So we're going to flip it, do the same thing on this side, and rub it in. And again, once it gets wet like that, it really shows all the grain and the color of the wood, and it is gorgeous. And once the oil sets in, that color stays there. It's not going to dry out like it did before. So you want to make sure you get all the sides, get it nice, even, all the way around. Oh, that's looking great. Oh yeah. Okay. Now, what you want to do, you let that dry, you do it again. You let that one dry, you do that again. And once that third one dries, then we're going to use Howard's Butcher Block Conditioner. It's a wax. That's going to protect it, that's going to keep it beautiful for a long time. Thanks, Howard. Okay, so now that the oil is dry, we are going to put Howard's Butcher Block wax on there. And I'd like to do it the same way, just kind of spread it out and rub it in. We're going to take another rag, do the same thing. And just rub it on in. Just do a little rubbing. Just do some rubbing. There we go. Boom. Oh yeah. It's looking good, looking good. Get the edges nice and tight. Get the wax all the way around. And let's get the other side. Oh, let's get that real good. Okay, other side. The wax. Boom. And just rub it in. Just rub it in. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do 3 coats of the wax also. And then when it dries, you're good to go.